Tess, could I get you to sing a little something for us today?
You want me to sing a little something? Who, me? Me? Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you.
Oh my God.
Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me.
Oh. Welcome to the second to final episode of The Tiffany Show, your TV, Peterborough, Lindsay, of course, Kojiko On Demand, and my social media channels. We've rolled up to Studio Euphoria Wellness Spa in beautiful downtown PTBO. My next guest, you may have seen her at the International Women's Day party that I threw back in March, and I just had to sneak her in for a bit of a sit down today. Lyndele Gauci, welcome to The Tiffany Show.
Hi.
Slide in.
Slide on in.
Ooh, cheers to you.
Cheers to you, babes.
Lyndele, I know a little bit about you. Maybe you could share a little bit about yourself with those that are watching, your hometown, fun facts, things you don't like, things you love, maybe a secret nobody knows about you.
I don't have any secrets. What are you talking about? None that I can share on camera.
Okay,
Let's just put it that way. Okay, so I consider Peterborough my hometown. So Peterborough, I've pretty much been here since I was 13.
Okay.
Before that, I lived in several different places. My father was a bit of a house flipper before house flipping was a thing.
Oh, cool.
So we kind of traveled and moved. He would build houses or he would renovate places, and then he'd go off on his next adventure and we'd have to go with him. He wasn't that stable, have one home kind of place. He was far too adventurous for that. So
right. Bit of a free spirit, eh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he was Maltese?
Yes.
Yeah, because your mom's Scottish, right?
My mom is Scottish, and my dad came over in the 60s. My mom came over in the 70s. My dad was like a professional motorcycle racer. So
what?
He did, yeah. Yeah, he did like Daytona circuits and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I grew up around on racetracks.
Oh my God.
Like for the first very, very early years.
Yeah.
Once he started developing a family, he kind of moved away from that.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask what your dad's name was?
Okay, so I only found this out, it would have been before he passed, but I was Googling his name. I was trying to find evidence. And I found like this article listing him, and he went by Manny. His real name is Emmanuel.
Oh.
So we went by Manny at the beginning, but then he changed it to Larry. Larry was his Canadian name. That was his chosen.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I like Manny.
Manny.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I love
It just screams 60s hippie.
It does. It totally does. Is that what we expect when we envision?
Yeah. He had a shaggin' wagon. I actually still have pictures.
Stop.
I have the old square photos. I have square photos of a shaggin' wagon.
Oh my gosh. My dad was like the stereotypical football player. He went to like Cathedral High School in Hamilton.
Oh
and the hair, like the muscle, like he was working out way too much. And like you look at my dad's high school photos and he looks 40. Like I do when he passed, and I'm like going through the photo albums. And why does my dad look so old? He was only 17. Like
so weird.
So life, Lyndele. Ups and downs. Of course, you're a business owner.
Yes.
You are a theater kid.
Uh-huh.
You're into natural practitioner, like a Reiki practitioner.
I consider
as
myself
well.
a holistic practitioner.
Holistic, thank you.
Yes,
that's
holistic.
the word I was looking for. Holistic practitioner.
Wholeness and embodiment of like so many different things.
You are an advocate. You have a very strong voice.
I have a big mouth, yes.
I deeply appreciate it. It's one thing I really respect about you. When we first met, because I knew that you would speak your mind and share and speak up when something's not right. And I'm less direct. So when I see somebody in that space, I can't help but like really respect and want that like in my life to like brush off on me a little bit, you know? in that journey of life, can you maybe just share a little bit about your life, where you've been, the ups and downs, how you got here today, how you got into
of ups and downs.
Holistic health?
Okay, so probably because of all the mistakes I've made in my life and all of the paths and journeys that I've taken myself on, I would say I've always been interested in health and wellness, but it was not something for me that was attainable as like, I'm going to make this a career,
right?
Kind of a thing. Because I wasn't guided to it at that point. I started yoga, like my own personal practice, probably in 2013-ish.
Oh, cool.
My first introduction to it was when I was in university, and it so wasn't for me back then. I didn't see my body type being represented.
Yep.
So when I was living in Toronto. Yeah. And I mean, I still, attempted it and tried it, but the whole vibe at that time was not for me.
It was different.
It was very different. So then I started practicing in my living room, and then I started being introduced to people here in Peterborough who had softer, rounder bodies who were teaching. And one of those persons became one of my mentors and teachers. I kind of have always been fascinated with anything that's not considered normal.
Stereotypical?
Yeah, stereotypically normal. And I've always kind of veered off of paths.
Right.
I think that's part of my adventurous.
Grain.
Yeah, I go against the grain. It's been a part of my adventurous
like your
spirit.
dad, I guess, a bit of a wildflower.
And that's exactly where I get it from. Like, I know I get it from. My mom was more safe. My dad took a lot more risks.
Right.
So that is absolutely where I get that from. I've taken a lot of risks, a lot to my own detriment, but that's a part of the learning process in life. I'm 46 years old now. I have lived a lot in the past 30 years than I think most people will live in a lifetime.
I want to get to 46 and say that too.
Yeah.
Like, there's something, I'm cusp in the 40s. We were just talking about this off camera. And like, there is something about women that hit their 40s and just, like, what would you say? A table flips.
Yeah. It's my table flipping era.
Yeah.
I don't care.
What people, you could say, you can think, you can do whatever. I'm just going to do me and keep on doing me.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of power in that. And I think there's a lot of power in sharing that message. I just wish a lot of us hit that in our 20s and we didn't have to but I guess you got to go through.
It's part of the baby steps. Yeah. It's part of the baby steps. It's a part of, that's just how we evolve.
Yeah.
You got to go through. Oh, sorry. I probably can't swear. Beep. If anybody follows me on Instagram, you will see that I swear a lot. I swear in my yoga classes. So yeah, it's just a part of who I am. I also make sound effects.
As long as the camera's on, I will swear. I have a filthy trucker mouth. I really do. It's bad.
What was the rest of your question? I feel like I went off.
Maybe some of the most significant challenges you faced in your life, and how have they changed the way that you move, or maybe the way that you treat other people?
I have spent the majority of my life living in poverty. And even now, like, I make less than 30 grand a year. Like, it's not, I've never had a job where I've made a lot of money. And my mom and my dad, because they were baby boomers, right? So they were that generation who came after the war. So they were kind of very diligent with what they used, what they spent. There was no that waste not, want not mentality that I kind of grew up with. So I haven't, yes, I went through the whole like consumerism kind of phase of my life. That was like your teen years and your 20s. But I felt as I matured that I was just becoming more aware of waste. So now that I'm older, it's a really weird lesson, but being poor
Teaches you a lot.
It teaches you a lot. It teaches you a lot of resilience.
Oh, yeah.
And
Resourcefulness.
there's resourcefulness and creativity.
Yes.
There's a lot of creativity in there. Because you have to make things out of nothing. I try not to live with any regret. I really don't have a lot of regret in my life. But because, again, everything is a lesson. Everything is meant to be learned. What is the sense of the regret?
And the universe will keep, like, punching us in the face until we actually get that lesson. And do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
The resourcefulness that you brought up too, right? Like, and even I've been like in that position. Like when I first moved to Peterborough, I was 18. I really came here with like nothing. Definitely throughout my 20s, actually, I had a pretty decent job. But I mean, rent and a vehicle and
learning how to manage that stuff. We never learned how to manage finances.
Like,
I never learned how to manage finances.
I can tell you about parallelograms, but not my taxes. Like, that was useless. But I remember going to, I'd have to go to food banks sometimes, right? Like, groceries, and I remember we had to buy winter tires, and it was like, we either get these winter tires or we get bus passes, but it's the same amount of money. Like, what do we do? How do we maneuver this? And then there's no money left. So then, I went to, actually, it was the Good Neighbors Food Bank. So
I've been there several times.
Neighbors. Yeah, absolutely. And
they're there for a reason.
Yes. Food banks are there for a reason.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have to be any class level. Like, sometimes you just come on hard times, and these social services are there to support us. And anyway,
and there's no judgment. There's no judgment either, which is,
we have to eat.
We judge ourselves more than anyone is going to do that.
Oh my God,
for
that
us.
first time going in there and like
the
almost that
anxiety.
shame and anxiety.
The anxiety is ridiculous.
And now that I'm years out of that, I kind of look back and I'm just like, oh man, I wish there needs to be a door hugger. That's like, right? That's like, it's okay. You're welcome here. Everybody has a hard time. And like these places exist.
For you, it would be a dog. They would need a dog.
They need a dog at the door.
They need a dog.
Yes. So support your local food banks. Got a soft spot in my heart. It's funny that you brought up the resourcefulness, because the instant I met you, I thought, if this world ends, I'm going to Lyndele's house. I'm going to Lyndele's house because she's a homesteader.
Those skills.
Because she can do all of the things. Like, I think about those shows. Like, there's this one, the Kilchner family, Jewel's dad. You know the performer Jewel?
Yeah.
The whole family has like a big homestead out in like Nebraska or Alaska or something.
Out in the wilderness.
Yes. So I would watch that show, but when I met you, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Lyndele can do all of these things.
I spent years living in the bush.
Like, right?
Yeah.
But it's neat. It's a really neat thing about you. I feel like you really could just figure anything out.
Some people wouldn't look at me and go, oh, she knows how to build a fire. No, I know how to build a fire.
I bet you could. With 2 sticks
I know how to build.
Right? I knew it. I
could definitely build a fire.
I knew that.
I know how to build shelter. And
world's ending. I'm heading over to your place. That's all I'm going to say.
I know how to make medicine and all that good stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. All your holistic
how to forage.
Too.
Yeah, I can forage.
You forage.
I forage.
She forages nettle heads. What do you cook with them? It's delicious. She can.
Yeah,
she's
you
also
can cook
like
with
a
nettle.
chef. She does. Do you still do personal chef stuff?
I do. Yeah.
So you can hire her to come into your house and cook you like this personal chef meal for you and your whatever special occasion you have.
Yeah, that's always
neat.
fun. It's always fun.
I bet that is fun. I know a couple people you've done that for. They really loved it. I got totally off track.
That's okay. That happens when we get together.
It does. Lyndele, in moments of adversity, what has kept you pushing forward? What's your why?
Honestly, I think it's really just a trauma response. To be perfectly honest with you, just to keep going, it's that survivalist mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I've been on my own pretty much since I was 17. So and again, I suppose if I didn't have that childhood that I had and learned those resourcefulness skills, I would have crumpled up into a ball and deceased. But
it's interesting.
Yeah. Now I don't so much forge ahead, like full blast.
Yeah.
And I think that's just part of aging. There's that maturity level where I can kind of sit back, let it sit, pause, feel the feels, honor the grief or the trauma or whatever has occurred during those moments of adversity, and then formulate, okay, well, how am I going to move forward?
Yeah.
Can I even move forward at this moment? Do I need to wait? Where's my support? Who am I going to pull in for my supports? Do I have supports? Like, there's all this calculating and analyzing that goes on. So I take the time now to do that. I take the time now for those pauses.
That's
instead
power.
of just like bulldozing my way through life.
Yeah. God, I feel that.
Which I've done so many times, and I think that's part of the reason why I've made so many mistakes in my life, is because I just like, go. Who cares? Just
we're
go.
gonna bull our way through this.
Like a bull in a china shop. I'm just gonna go. So the.
God, I feel that.
Yeah, you gotta pause now.
There's a lot of power in that pause, and even in conversations sometimes too. Right?
Oh yeah, let things settle. Let things digest.
Like,
so it's one of our things that we learn in theater school. So, when you're working with a scene partner, what they say to you, you're taking it in, but you gotta let it digest before you can respond.
Yes.
You kind of got to do that with every single line that you're having, like with your scene partners. There has to be that moment of reflection instead of just regurgitating.
That is an excellent piece of advice. And I find in tough conversations too, like especially if maybe it's a conflict conversation and maybe we're on the other side of the conflict, there's a lot of power in the pause because people like to fill silence, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you know what?
Because silence is uncomfortable.
Silence is uncomfortable for people. You want people to spill the beans? Just sit quietly and nod.
Smile and nod.
We talked about the hard things. What has been the biggest reward that you've received from taking one of those risks?
I instinctively just want to say my son.
Oh, Gus. He's okay.
Gussie.
Oh, he's so cute.
My Gus.
Oh, he's going to be a theater kid for sure. He's a light. Her son is he's so cute. Yeah. He's been the biggest reward that we took from
He's been my biggest reward. He was my biggest challenge, pregnancy-wise, and a whole buttload of learning that happened. Chronological order, chickenpox the first time.
No, chickenpox is the worst.
It was my first time ever feeling isolated. Oh. It wasn't great. On Valentine's Day, I was sexually assaulted. And then 9 days later, my dad was dead. And then, so February is a really hard month for me, always.
Yeah.
But, it's been 10 years now. But later on in the summer, I met my son's father. It was a very fast moving relationship. And by the end of November, I was pregnant. I was also a stepmother all of a sudden. So it was, there was a lot. But that relationship came with a lot of challenges. It was not a healthy relationship. And so by the time I had my son, like, we almost died in childbirth, the both of us. Even in 2016, like, how are women still going through this?
Wow.
It wasn't fun. It was absolutely horrendous. Like, during that whole pregnancy, it was just horrible. Horrible pregnancy. 10 out of 10 will never do again.
That's the big fear.
Yeah. And just before I met his dad, I was already going through like fertility stuff with a clinic. I was just going to do it on my own.
Really?
So I always knew I was going to be a single mom.
Like, single parenthood is not easy.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God. No. I'm like, I have no idea. I have zero lived experience.
So yeah, having my son taught me so much. He was the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh.
It took me a while to see that light, even after he was born. I had very, very horrible prenatal anxiety and depression.
Oh.
Like, really bad. Like, I won't go into the details of it, but it was really bad.
Oh, my heart. I'm so glad you came through on the other side.
Oh, me too. Me too, because it was rough.
Oh, sister.
So the postpartum was not a fun time either. So, I was a single parent when my kid was 7 months.
It's just on you.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's hard to get even now, he's 8.5. Getting a full night's sleep, I don't really know what that is. Still.
A few more years.
No, then he's going to be a teenager. Then he's never going to come home.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going to be like, my baby, he grew so fast. It happened overnight.
Your body adjusts.
Yeah.
Your brain is constantly, the brain trauma is just always going to be there from lack of sleep.
Yeah, fair.
Mom brain is a thing. It doesn't go away.
You just learn to live with it, right?
It doesn't go away. Yeah.
Part of the resilience. Yeah. I guess that's fair. Yeah. Now, of course, I think everybody in life gets challenges. We all face adversity.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt underestimated? And how did you prove them wrong?
Underestimated, I don't think so much in my adult life. Like, me now is not the me, obviously, I was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was there was zero self-esteem when I was a kid. I think, and I'm fortunate that I don't really know anybody or see anybody from grade school or high school who treated me poorly. But I think if they were to see me now, it wouldn't be so much, a haha, look at me moment. It'd be like, I am so far beyond you.
Yeah.
Now. And that's not to make myself sound like selfish or like I'm full of myself, but it's
when we get bullied, especially when we're young. No, it's a bit of a different situation. Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think most people underestimate me too much now.
You're a force. I think
it's because I'm just so loud and
strong.
People know me and know what I'm capable of.
Yep.
And I will say that, as much as I take risks, people take risks on me.
Oh.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And I think that's commendable, for one, because people never know what's going to come out of my mouth or what I'm going to do. So for someone to take a risk on me, it's like, thank you.
I'm like, oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I've worked for this.
I won't disappoint you.
No.
I will at least entertain you.
Always.
Now,
can you share a story about a moment where connection changed your life?
I think there isn't any one specific moment, but there's all these little moments of connection, all these little pings with people, these little moments of light, and these people that you just like bump into and just bing.
Yeah.
Like the first time I met you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be the same memory, but I remember going to, and I think it was before I was a chamber member, and there was a networking event happening at the Nexicon Lounge over at Showplace.
Yeah.
And I just remember you holding the door open for me. That was my first time meeting you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. I want to say it was probably 2014.
What?
2014, 2015. Yeah. Sometime around there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, there's those little pings with people, right?
Yeah, there is. There's like just an energy connection.
Yeah. And I've had so many of those little like bright lights. It's like stars twinkling in the sky, right?
Oh.
And all these little connections that have just created some wonderful connections.
Agreed.
And these long-lasting connections.
And a beautiful life. Because
Yeah.
that's what it really builds to, right?
Yeah.
It's all those lights at the end.
And cultivating and grabbing those lights.
Yes.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our episode today, a couple more questions for you. If there was a museum about your life, what would the gift shop have as your souvenir?
Just one?
Yeah.
Oh, just one souvenir.
Like a jar of pickles.
I do love me. I love me a Sam's Deli pickle.
Oh. Sometimes I'll order it and I'll have it delivered and I'll just order because you can.
I bought the
jars of pickles.
Yeah, I bought the jars
totally.
before.
I just crush a jar of pickles on my couch. I love that.
Juice everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember? I don't know if you'll remember these, but used to find them in gift shops everywhere. Like we would collect them whenever we went to like tourist attractions like Canada's Wonderland, Niagara Falls. They were the pens that had the little floating thing in them.
Yes.
I would have one of those.
What would be floating
I don't
in
know.
it?
That's
a little
the thing.
photo of Gus.
What would be floating in it? I don't know. Like the background.
For the tables you flip.
Gosh. That'd be hilarious.
Lyndele,
Maybe it'd just be my name. It would just float up and down. In the was it mineral oil? I think that was what was in those things.
Oh my God, mercury. Who knows?
Probably was mercury. Yeah.
What is the best thing about life?
Finding your peace.
Oh, yes.
And that goes back to those moments of pause, right?
Yeah.
Like learning how to pause, learning how to take the time to breathe just for yourself. Nobody else.
Just you.
Because that helps to reset your nervous system. It helps to attract the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're constantly putting out energy out there that's like, crazy, hectic, that's going to keep getting,
everything is just going to
keep feeding, you're feeding that monster.
It is that law of attraction.
It really is. Yeah. It really is.
You put things, honestly, and as soon as I had shifted, when I shifted my mindset, I ended up off of my antidepressants. Not that, antidepressants are a fantastic tool for those that struggle with depression, anxiety, OCD.
I still take anti-anxiety meds. Yep.
Right? And so, it is an amazing tool for the tool belt. But once I had started making these, different fundamental changes just from my own journey and my experiences, it was like that law of it changed my life. Yeah. It really, really changed my life.
Yeah. So those moments of peace is what is helping to attract that goodness.
Yes. Agreed.
Just sit there. Sit outside. Listen to the birds. Even listen to the traffic. Just not on your phone.
Take a moment.
Take a moment. Take a 500,000 moments and just...
As long as you need.
The
floor is yours, Lyndele. If you could share a message with those that are watching, what is that message?
Take the moments. Find the peace. And breathe. Reset yourself. I don't care how many times a day you need to reset. Find those moments. Don't let anybody bark at you thinking that, okay, no, this has to get done, da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just noise.
Yes.
It's just noise. And, put those, even if you don't have them, imaginary noise-canceling headphones on and sit with your breath, sit with your peace. Things fall into place. You just got to trust.
Aw, you're so beautiful. I so deeply, deeply admire you. I really do, Lyndele. Honestly. There's just, there really is something special about you. And you bring that to our community, to the world, and it makes a difference. And you influence other women. And honestly, I'm forever grateful. You've definitely impacted my life. This has been another episode of The Tiffany Show. Be kind, keep going, and all that good stuff.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. You're looking to sell your home or cottage? You want to work with someone who knows the market inside and out. Hi, I'm Sarah Evans, born and raised in Peterborough, Ontario. I am very proud to call this great community home. Contact me today and I can promise to exceed your expectations. 705-768-6278 or visit sarahevans.ca.
Not intended to solicit those currently under contract.